How's it going? Good looking Huddle lights. Vanatta here. Rountree here. It's almost the first of the year. Did you know there's a 4-syllable word? A 4-syllable word that single-handedly destroys 97.34% of people's New Year's resolutions, health and weight loss goals, but they don't know it. And you can't do anything about it if you don't know what it is. And it's a simple 4-syllable word. We're going to get into that today so that, you don't have to abandon it 2 weeks in your New Year's resolution, 2 weeks in the new year. Let's roll that intro.
Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, Daily Huddle. Good morning to each and every one of you that has made the decision and the commitment to join us this morning. I'm so happy. I'm so excited that you have decided to join us. My name is Vince Rountree, myself and my co-host Rawlin Vanatta. The two of us together will bring you the health, wellness, and vitality show. And today we're going to talk about some 4-syllable word that will help you to give you 97.37589% chance of making your goal. I just want to know two things from Rawlin. Number one, what's the 4-syllable word? And number two, I want to see that calculation that comes out to being the 97.43752% chance of making your weight loss goal. So I'll be sitting here learning just with the rest of you. But before we get to that, how are you doing this morning, Stan? How are you doing this morning, brother? Oh, man, I can't hear you, bro. I can't hear you.
I'm doing powerfully, brother. I'm doing everything powerfully. Because you know why?
Why?
I am as I say I am, man.
You are as you say you are. And this morning, you're doing everything powerfully. Everything is with power this morning.
That's right.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Beautiful, man. Thank you for that. Stacy, what time is it, man? Stacy Robinson, what time is it? I know your mic is off, so you may not be available.
Every Tuesday, I love to answer this question. Wait, you said what time is it? The time is, you said what time is it?
You know what? For you, where are you? You're a better question for where are you?
Listen, I'm going to tell you, like, one of my favorite MCs, Rakim Allah, right? He said, it ain't where you from, it's where you at. And since you came here, you got to show and prove. And every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are here right where we need to be, right here in the Daily Huddle. And I am very happy to say today that I am here with my brand new bride, Joy Sonia. We got married yesterday at noontime. So that's where we are today.
Oh, congratulations, man. Congratulations to you and Joy Sonia, man. I didn't know that.
Congratulations.
That is a wonderful thing. I am so happy. Cheers and kudos and best of wishes and congratulations from the Daily Huddle and from myself and from Rawlin. Man, that is a wonderful, beautiful, beautiful thing, man. Thank you for sharing that and congratulations to both of you. You know what? Since we already handled where you are and the time is now, Rawlin, I tell you what, man, why don't you go into setting us up for this?
Okay. So I got a question for everybody before we go into the 4-syllable word, which I know is driving everyone nuts to figure out. I'm going to ask you a question, and I think that y'all will arrive at this 4-letter word, or 4-syllable word, I should say. So how many of you believe that it's perfectly okay to sometimes, occasionally, let your kids play out, in the middle of a highway or in the middle of a busy intersection? Just sometimes, not all the time, just sometimes, right? Does that sound like a good idea? What do you think if we, if it'd be okay to have your kids occasionally play on the roof of a some kind of tall building, maybe a skyscraper? Just play on the roof. Go play. Just don't do it too much, not too often, right? Just sometimes, right? We would be like, no, that would be insane. We would, wouldn't we? We would say that, wouldn't we? Okay. You know what I think? I think, we have a lot of street signs. There's a lot of us out there that driving, right? Does everybody drive? Like, wave at me if you drive a vehicle. Okay, cool. So y'all drive a vehicle. So if you drive a vehicle, this is important. How many of you guys think that it would be a good idea to suddenly, just occasionally, just all the road signs, all the double yellow lines, and all the red light and green lights just disappear? Just all of them just disappear. Y'all think that would be a better solution to suddenly, right? You're driving all of a sudden, like in Atlanta, in the 16 lanes going one direction, right, at rush hour, and there's all these exits, but there's no signs for maybe a mile. There's no signs. There's no places to go off the exit ramp. There's no lines. Everybody is just a free for all. But just every few miles, you might have a stretch of 120 feet like that, right? 250 feet like that. You might just have no lines, no signs, no nothing, right? Does that sound like a good idea, or do you think that'd be chaos, guys? Y'all think that probably would run into some problems, wouldn't it? Okay. Now I want y'all to think about the absurdity of the examples that I just gave you. And then I want you to think of the absurdity of this word when it comes to health, wellness, weight loss goals, anything you're going after in one direction. Okay, you ready? Moderation. 4-syllable word. Moderation. Because that's what you're really saying, right? Well, let's just let our kids play in the road in moderation. Right? Let's just not have any boundaries in the middle of Atlanta's highway system. Moderately, we'll release all the road signs and all the boundary markers where you don't go, all the do not enter signs and all the one-way only signs. We'll just moderately remove them, just moderately, right? Can you guys imagine how ridiculous it is to go on a diet and then say, well, I'm going to eat things in moderation. I want to eat all those really fattening foods. I really want to lose weight, but I'm going to eat super fattening foods in moderation. If you think about it, everybody has this thing that they say, everything in balance. And I would say, you could say that, but I would say that that's nonsense, because nothing on this earth is in balance. What do I mean by that? Well, when you go through puberty, you're going through puberty. It's not in balance. It's like all at once. When you decide to go outside, it's never like spring and winter, right? It's like things come in seasons. They come in times. They come in moments. And so, like, summer don't come in moderation, winter don't come in moderation, fall don't come in moderation, and spring don't fall in moderation. The sun doesn't. Can you imagine if we said the sun only comes up in moderation? Our lives would be messed up. If the sun only, think about all the photosynthesis, all the growing seasons, all the harvests, all the everything would be completely messed up if the sun only showed up in moderation. So if you're going to actually succeed in your weight loss goals, in your health goals, get that single word that single-handedly destroys 97.34% of people's New Year's resolutions goals. Get it out of your mouth. Get it out of your mind. Get out of your heart. Moderation kills. Moderation kills your dreams, kills your goals. It kills your stuff. Because it allows you to stay who you are. And if you stay who you are, you'll never change. What do I mean by that? Vince, would you tell the story of the smoker for me? You're on mute, buddy.
Thank you, man. So one of the things that we think is so important in making the transformation to being healthy has to do with changing your state of being, changing the way you identify yourself. And what does that mean? What does it mean to change your state of being? What does it mean to change your identity and the way that you are, the way that you look at yourself? The best example for that I can think of is a guy named Fred who has been smoking for years and decided that this is no longer any good for me. Got to do something different. So Fred's got two different scenarios when he goes to work. Scenario number one, Fred goes to work. One of his smoking buddies said, "Hey, Fred, you want a cigarette?" And Fred says, "No, thanks, man. I'm trying to quit." Okay. All right. That's scenario one. Scenario two, Fred goes to work and someone asks him, "Hey, Fred, you want a cigarette?" And Fred says, "No, thanks, man. I'm not a smoker." Think about those two different scenarios. Well, in both of them, he didn't get the cigarette, so there's some positive to that. But his identity in those scenarios is completely different. Completely different. In scenario one, he said no, but his identity is that of a smoker. I'm trying to quit. In other words, I am a smoker that is trying to quit. I might do it, I might not. I'm trying. Scenario two, why would you even ask me? I'm not a smoker. Why would you even ask me? And when you can shift your identity to being someone who is not a smoker, then smoking is not in your realm of possibility, because that's just not who you are. Go for it.
So let me ask you guys a question. Out of those two people, which one would say the word moderation in terms of smoking? The non-smoker, it wouldn't even enter his mind because it wouldn't even be something that he thought or wanted or even considered doing. You only say the word moderation to things that enters your realm of mind, that enters your desires or your wants, right? Like, oh, I'll eat sugar donuts just moderately, right? Everything in moderation. I won't eat too much of it, right? It's like a non-smoker never says, "I'll have cigarettes in moderation." You get what I'm saying? Like a non-smoker will never say, "I'll have cigarettes in moderation." A smoker trying to quit, though, will say, "Yeah, I have one just to I've cut down to I've cut down to a pack a week. I've cut down to a half a pack a week, right? What's hidden behind although that one pack? Moderation. That's the word hidden behind it, right? Right. Well, you got to eat something sometime. You got to have some dessert sometime. It's all moderation, ladies and gentlemen. Every single time you hear, well, how long are you going to do that? Like, how long are you going to be eating those plants like that? Well, everything in moderation. When people say everything in moderation, that's their justification for staying exactly who they've always been, trying to get a different result. And that just don't work. It don't work. You might temporarily make a few differences. You might lose a few pounds here and there. You always find it again because it's who you are. You always find it again. This is who you are. If you want to change, you change who you are. And that word won't slip out of your mouth. And that word, moderation, won't be behind your actions, even if you don't say the word, right? Just cutting down to a pack a day. I'm trying to quit. I'm trying to lose 20 pounds. What do you mean you're trying to lose 20 pounds? You put your body into a state in which it must lose 20 pounds. It's science. It's not a trying game. It's calorie. It's all about calories if you're losing weight. So it's a math game. There's no such thing as trying. That doesn't exist. That's not a thing. It's math. Like I'm trying, like, no, you either are cutting your calories or you're not cutting your calories. There isn't like it. It's not maybe it will work or maybe it won't. It doesn't work like that. That's like saying, okay, I'm going to put a kid on my roof and I'm going to let them roam around. And if they jump off, maybe they won't hit the ground. What do you mean maybe they won't hit the ground? Of course they'll hit the ground if they jump off. Because they're subject to the same physical laws. And guess what? Weight loss is about physical laws. It's all about combustion and thermodynamics. It's all about the fact that you are a biological machine that burns fuel. And it depends on how much fuel. And if you put in too much fuel, you have an extra tank. Most people walk around with a bunch of extra tanks that they don't want. Well, it's principles. Oh, everything in moderation. Yep, that'll stop you. You believe that? That'll stop you. Vance, what else you got to say?
Most people use the word moderation in order to do whatever they want to do. There was a very informal kind of mall study where just asked people, do you eat healthy? Random people in the mall. Do you eat healthy? Yes or no? Do you eat healthy? 92% of the people say, yeah, I eat healthy. Yeah, I do all right. Now, we live in a country where 75 to 80% of the people are overweight. 40% of this country either has diabetes or pre-diabetes. Heart disease kills someone every 36 seconds, which, by the way, can be in the Tarahumara Indians, they never die of heart disease. All of these things are driven by their food. Yet when you ask people, do they eat health? Yeah, I do. Yeah, moderation. I can have some. Moderation is just the brain's escape hatch to eating whatever you want. To eating whatever you want. And so start small. The best way to start, make a commitment for 5 days. Now, anybody can do, look, you can do anything for 5 days. You could do a water fast for 5 days, but I'm not asking that. You can do a juice fast for 5 days. I'm not asking that. I'm saying for 5 days, eat the foods that we suggest and see how you feel. Our next 5-day challenge starts bright and early at the beginning of the year. The first Monday of January is January the 2nd. Eat whatever you want for Christmas. Join us January 2nd and try us for just 5 days. In those 5 days, we say, eat as much food as you want. Don't count calories. Don't count carbs. Don't cut back portion size. If you want to eat 8 times a day, eat 8 times a day, but eat below that red line. And when you sign up, you'll get the chart with a line, everything below the red line. Eat as much as you want. We'll give you the recipes. We'll give you the grocery list, everything that you need. And you get 5 days of Rawlin and I laughing, hooting, hollering, and yelling at you.
Eat below the red line without moderation.
Without
Eat
moderation.
nothing above the red line without no moderation. No moderation on both ends of the spectrum. Right? You hearing me, guys? Because here's the deal. Because you know it as well as I do. You know what happens to you? You see that Hershey's Kiss there. How do I know? Because it happens to me too. You see it there. You think, I hadn't had one of them. It's just so small. Hadn't had one of them. One won't hurt me. That's what you say, don't you? One won't hurt me. It's just one. Same thing saying, moderation don't matter. Little bit of poison won't hurt me. Little bit of taking that double yellow line off the road won't kill me. Little bit of wandering around on a rooftop in the dark with no flashlight. Yeah, that's perfectly safe. I'll probably be okay. Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation.
Lie. Lie.
Is a ticket to an unhealthy life. My mentor is Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn. That's the guy who I kind of attribute to the lifestyle that I live in because of his primary research. I saw a YouTube lecture of him and I said, I got to try that. And he is the author of a book called Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. If you know anybody with heart disease, that is the book, Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. And one of the titles of, the title of one of his chapters is Moderation Kills. Moderation kills. And he wrote that because, of course, in his primary research, he took people that were literally the walking dead. Everyone in his very first experiment started in 1985, and there's 24 people, and they all had severe heart disease. Some of them had open heart surgeries, and some of them had stents, and some of them bunch of heart attacks. They were really in horrible, horrible shape. And he said all 24 of them met with him one at a time. Whole food, plant-based. This is what you got to do. 6 of them said, I can't do that. I love bacon too much. I love chicken too much. The other 18 said, I'll do that. All 18 got better. All of the 6, the conditions continually got worse and worse and worse. I saw that and said, I'm trying it. And he told his people while he was, consulting with them, moderation kills. There is no moderation. You have a deadly chronic disease. You can't treat that moderately. You can't do that. You can't do that. Rawlin, what you got?
I think we need to open it up for Q&A. If anybody has any Q&A.
I was thinking the same thing when I said, Rawlin, what you got? Anybody got
and what I was going to also say, someone mentioned how that, hey, on January 2nd, there'll be a lot of leftovers from Christmas and the New Year's. And this is what I got to say to that. No moderation. We had a client, it reminds me of a client one time that they had just purchased. I was closing my restaurant, fixing to turn it into a vegan restaurant at the time. And I sold all these steaks and all this stuff because I didn't want to just throw it away. because I knew people was going to be buying anyway. So I just gave it at cost, and all these people came and bought it all. And the very same people that bought like hundreds of dollars worth of steaks were me and Vince and I's very first clients, and they spent thousands of dollars with us, and gave it all away. So there's a lot of homeless people that need some food. So you package that food up, y'all, if you got leftovers, and you go give it to somebody that doesn't have a chronic disease that needs some calories really badly, right? And you do for you what's the right thing to do, and you do for them what's the right thing to do, right? And it reminds me of another client that it was at the beginning of COVID, and a man and woman went to this butcher's place and bought $1,000 worth of meat. $1,000 worth of meat, and the next week it took 2.5 freezers to fill it all up, and they saw our webinar and joined our program, our 12-week coaching program, and gave away all $1,000 worth of meat because of what happened so quickly for them. So they were not moderate in their decision making, right? Neither one of these people, and both of those people were wildly successful. The girl, the first couple, the man lost 65 pounds. His wife lost 92 pounds. She went from a size 18 to a size 2. The other lady that I talked about with the freezers, her husband lost 50, 60 pounds. She lost 40 or 50 pounds. Her mother had gotten cancer, and the doctors couldn't even imagine what was going on. She was in the middle of treatment, and suddenly it all just went away, and it was in almost every organ of her body. And his mother was type 2 diabetic and got control over it, all because of their decision for no moderation, right? When you make a decision for no moderation, that's really what a decision is no moderation. You're choosing a different path. And so I want to encourage every single one of you guys to, at the beginning of this year, make it your no moderation year in whatever you do, right? If it's be investing, if it be in no frivolous spending, then you're going to put all your stuff in investing, right? If you in Proverbs it says, plant your seed in the morning and don't let your hand grow tired in the evening, because you don't know which one will succeed, this or that or another. And just as you don't know how bones grow in a pregnant woman's body, so you don't know the ways of the Lord. So what I recommend is that no moderation. You sow your seed in the morning and the evening, right? If that's weight loss, then you're sowing your seed for weight loss in the morning and the evening, and not let your hand grow idle. So Vance Rountree, it's all you, man.
Man, look, we are at 29 minutes after the hour. And I guess we probably should take this time and go ahead and get ready to wrap up. And before I do that, I'll just say, for those that don't know, oh man, look, and the famous Ron Bertrand with the most powerful voice. The most powerful voice in all of.
He should be an audible, like a read for books.
Voiceover.
A voiceover. That's the word I was looking for. You should be a voiceover, Ronald.
Voiceover actor. So look, and Gio just came on. Gio, I'm sorry we're going over because I gotta answer Ron Bertrand's question. Ron Bertrand, ask your question, my friend.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I commend you guys. I have done some great adjustment, and I definitely want to join the next red line challenge. One thing I have since I did the red line, actually, I've been under 200. I'm at 189. I'm at 189, and I have made some significant change and really, yes, in moderation. I still, once in a while, we still have ribs in the house. But I would say that one thing I have been doing consistently is taking a tea. I do a tea bag called it's Sine or something like that. That's kind of a wash you over once a week. But what I'm saying though, the red line, definitely the principle of the red line works for me. It did work for me when I did the challenge the first time, and I've never been overweight, but my baseline used to be 200 and now my baseline is 189. So the red line works. I just have to add that to I just had to make this comment, and I eat one meal a day, and really full making sure that I have a whole lot of vegetable throughout, but just wanted to add this. So, kudos to you guys. The red line work.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Ron. And Ron just brought something up that I'm glad you did, that many people do. If you've been through the red line challenge once, maybe you joined us sometime in this year, start the new year off, go through it again. We have had people go through 2, 3, 4 times. One lady
just went through like 8.
I was going to say, I said she on her 7th or 8th one. So join us again. You'll probably learn something new because different questions bring up different subjects. And
your presentations have changed quite a bit over the last.
My presentations always change because I like staying on top of the latest science. So if you attended a challenge in June and you watch the next challenge, you'll learn some new stuff because the science changes, and I try to stay on top of that.
I was gonna say, for those of us who's in the world of landmark, it's just like reviewing the forum.
The world of what?
The world of landmark is just like reviewing the forum.
Exactly.
I was here a landmark graduate, so I'll just let it drop.
Exactly. The forum, which changes, right? Which there's always something new, right? Always something new.
Yep.
That's it. All right. Well, with that, I'll drop. And Lisette, if you could copy that link and put it in the, Facebook, we would appreciate that. And with that,
I would like to make a special announcement right quick before we leave. All right. So next week, Vince, would you like to announce? You go right ahead, man.
Well, so next week is our last show on the Daily Huddle. Rawlin and I are moving on, and we're going to have our own weekly show. And maybe next week we might actually even announce when it is, so you can join us. But next we are forever grateful for Gio and Sorrel in giving us this platform. It has been an absolute pleasure to have spent my Tuesday mornings with you guys for the last year and a half. For me, it's about the last 2 years, and so we are grateful. Things. Yeah. So
I was going to say we're very thankful, very grateful. We're looking forward to seeing what Giovanni and Sorrel's got in store for you guys coming up as a replacement for Tuesday. But we also are excited about expanding our reach and expanding our our touching many different other people's lives. And we're going to be having some interviews with some different people, and so we're pretty excited about it. We have a partnership coming up with some plant-based doctors, which we're excited about them coming on and us doing some interviews with them, and also just doing some of our own stuff. We also have someone joining our team, which we're excited about, that will have a monthly recipe show that'll be with us, which we're excited about. So we'll give you, anybody that wants it, more details. But we're super excited about it, and we appreciate both Sorrel and Giovanni being perfectly open and willing. In fact, they encouraged us to do about a 5-part series working up to that. And we didn't do that because multiple reasons, but we wanted to just give y'all what we thought was y'all needed to hear, not necessarily just to promote our next show, but we're super excited and super grateful for y'all's time and being with us over the last 1.5 2 years. Like, that's spectacular. It's really awesome, and we feel like that we had given all that we had to give, so to speak, to the daily huddle. We've taught. You can go back to our classes, and Vince basically gives you, I mean, like, we don't hold nothing back, guys. Like, we don't hide anything. Like, we're not, okay, there's extra information somewhere. Like, no, like, we give it to you on the daily huddle, right? So y'all go back through those classes if you miss us, and if you still miss us, come visit us at our new place, which is TBD, to be determined. But we're excited about this. We came to Giovanni and Sorrel and asked them if they'd be okay if we left, because we had some plans and stuff, and just with our conflicting schedules and our businesses and stuff, we just couldn't really make it work. And so anyway, we felt like it'd just be too many shows on us. So anyway, so y'all have a fantastic day. And Vince, you just wrap us up, okay? Tear off your glasses or whatever you got to do.
You've only got one body. You've only got one body in this lifetime. You look in the mirror and touch your face, touch your body. You only got one of them. You only have one. You only got one body. If you don't take care of it, where are you going to live? You've only got one body in this lifetime, so eat as though your life depends on it, because it does. My name is Vince Rountree. Rawlin, Vanatta, and I are co-hosts of the Health, Wellness, Vitality Show. Join us next week for our last show. Thank you so much. Tune into the Daily Huddle each and every weekday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Guarantee you can get some information to improve the quality of your life. Thank you for watching us. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you, you guys.
One love,
Thank
guys.
you.
One
Thank
love.
you. Thank
One
you.
love.
Thank you.
Thank you.